Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the soul of Sunday. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is a historic faith with a progressive theology. We affirm the worth and dignity of every being, and that we are all deeply interconnected. We are bound to one another not by creed, but by covenant, and we are called to love with open minds, open hearts, and open hands. Whoever you are, those of all nations, all creeds, all colors, all kinds of love, you are welcome here.
We've been lost for a long time, in a rut, no escape signs, and for love we were so blind. Oh, I hate to see you cry. There've been times with your truth lied, now it's clear as a blue sky. Like a band-aid over deeper cuts we tried, but couldn't stop the fate descending on the night. We'll build a fire and torch our own life and hope the spark survives. Use words as kindling, light up the night sky, let the memories take flight and hope the spark survives. Yeah, we hope the spark survives. Pull through. All we ever do is argue, with not a lot, but we make do. How I wish you wouldn't say that. There are things you can't take back. When you leave, I always face facts. Like a hand that's trying to hold the water back. Couldn't stop the ocean leaking in the cracks. We'll build a fire and torch our own lives and hope the spark survives. Use words as kindling, light up the night sky, let the memories take flight and hope the spark survives. Yeah, we hope the spark survives. Yeah, we hope the spark survives.
Our chalice reminds us that the fire within ourselves is the same fire that illuminates the universe. It is our reminder that all is connected, even though the space of the void is vast, and our experience here is but a blip in the cosmic timeline. The flame is our promise that in our smallness and in our short time on this earth, that we live intently and deeply with love for one another, with honesty and integrity, to be guided by rational thought and critical thinking, and with a sense of shared responsibility. For the late astronomer Carl Sagan reminded us, this pale blue dot is the only home we've ever known. Now, welcome to our Zoomers, and welcome to the congregation gathered here in person. I'm Harry Kelso, Reverend Parisa is on summer sabbatical, as is Director of Music Mark David Buckles, and the Arlington Street Church Choir. Reverend Allie Jablonski and I are joined by Anna Park on piano and soloist Shay Brown. Thank you, friends. And a very special thank you to all our volunteers here, the tech team, greeters, ushers, and our coffee hour hosts. If you're new, we're so glad you're here. If you'd like to know more about Arlington Street, please visit ascboston.org. There's a link where you can sign up for our weekly e-newsletter, the latest from Arlington Street, which will resume this fall. Whether you've been coming here for years or today is your first time at Arlington Street, welcome home.
Good morning. A warm welcome to this morning's preacher, Harry Kelso. Harry has been coming to Arlington Street for the past 2 years since moving from New York City, where he was a member of the All Souls congregation. Outside of church, Harry works in clean energy focused on fusion and super hot geothermal, two high-impact sources of the future capable of deep decarbonization. Harry grew up on the South Shore in Massachusetts and now lives in Cambridge, where he loves to take sunset bike rides along the Charles River. If you haven't already downloaded today's order of service, it's available in the chat and on the homepage at ascboston.org. For our guests here in the sanctuary, there are printed copies at the great doors. It is a hot summer here in Boston, and those of us in person are experiencing that we don't have air conditioning. There are fans and waters in the back. Please help yourself at any time during the service. And if at any time you need help, our ushers are here to support you. Let's do all that we can to take care of one another. If you'd like more Arlington Street in your week, please go to ascboston.org. There are weekly gatherings in the Zoom room for loving kindness meditation, poetry, yoga, and writing. And you can join Reverend John O'Connor and I on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock in the Arlington Street Zoom room for tea with the ministers. This week's discussion question is, what's something you find astounding and beautiful, but most people overlook? Come one, come all. The link to the Zoom room can be found at ascboston.org. And next Sunday's preacher is Reverend John. Reverend John has been an active member of Arlington Street Church since 1990 and graduated from Harvard Divinity School in 2022. John then served as the interim minister at First Church in Belmont and was ordained here at Arlington Street on April 7th, 2024. And he currently serves as the Minister for Good Works. John also serves as a guest preacher at many of our local UU congregations. Outside of church, Reverend John is an avid reader, and when time permits, he noodles around a bit on the piano. For the past 30 years, John has also owned and managed a residential real estate team in the greater Boston area. More information and Zoom room links are at ascboston.org. To attend any of them, you don't have to be a member, you don't have to turn on your video or talk if you don't want to, and they're all free, and all are always welcome. Following the service, everyone is welcome to join the virtual coffee hour. If you'd like to participate, please answer yes to the breakout room invitation that will appear on your screen. If you're here in the sanctuary, you'll need to go to the Zoom room before the Postlude begins. And if you're here in person following the service, we've got a treat for you. The Cheever family honored their matriarch Holly at a memorial service at Arlington Street yesterday and generously left us amazing food for the reception. We've got sandwiches and great desserts that'll be in the Honeywell Chapel. Please join us through the leather door to the right of the pulpit. And thank you to all who joined in today's service and to all who made it possible. Remember, we are in this together. As we begin our greetings, I invite the Zoomers and those here in the sanctuary with a device handy to please say hello in the chat and tell us where you're Zooming in from. And now Keith is going to turn the camera on the in-person congregation as we wave and smile at each other, as well as our friends in the Zoom room. And you all in the Zoom room can wave and smile back. Hello, friends. Let's all engage that Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another heart to heart. Our opening hymn is number 402, From You I Receive. You can find the words in the hymnal, in the order of service, and in the chat. And I invite you to rise in body, rise in spirit, and join in singing From You I Receive.
This first hymn will be a meditation of sorts. So I will hum it once, sing it once, and then we'll sing it a few times, and you're welcome to join me as you feel moved. When you see my fist go up in the hand, that'll be the last time of me humming it, and you at that point are welcome to hum, sing, or just take in the sound.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, and to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
It is now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Saturday evening deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or sorrow to share this morning, please type it into the chat. Zoomers are invited to light silent candles at home. Those in the sanctuary are invited to light a silent candle at the table up front to the right of the Gleason podium. In addition to sharing our sorrows and joys this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how very precious this beloved community is. We need one another. Whether together or apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
A mixed candle from Rain Rivers. Please pray for depression to leave me. Pray so that enemies and false gossip disappear. Pray about the recovery of my mother and her happiness, and that my dog Rocky is healthy and happy. And pray for me to be happy, and for us to safely leave Russia. A candle of concern for the people of Israel and Iran as strikes continue to build, with the U.S. striking Iran this weekend. Our Unitarian Universalist Association reminds us that we have and continue to take a stance of peace and working towards just resolutions in times of war. May there be a path to peace here and everywhere. May all impacted and triggered here, there, and everywhere be met with love and care and healing. And from Arlington Street, a final prayer of great sorrow and outrage at the Supreme Court's ruling on Wednesday to uphold a 2023 Tennessee law banning gender-affirming care for minors. We trust the science that has taught us that gender-affirming care is vital for physical and mental well-being. To our beloved trans and non-binary siblings, we affirm your truth, and we know that you know who you are. Our job is to love and support you, which we will continue to do with everything that we have.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today in joy. We share your joy.
A candle to commemorate this week's court decision to block a Louisiana law requiring schools to post the 10 Commandments in classrooms. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe in each person's inherent worth and dignity, and we support each other's individual search for truth and meaning. May we continue to respect and honor each other's traditions and beliefs across traditions. A final candle of joy for the ways our city is stepping up to help deepen care for our most vulnerable during this heat wave. Mayor Wu has declared a heat emergency for the next few days, and the city has been mobilizing to ensure there are splash pads, pools, and cooling centers available throughout the city. It is so important that we care about each other and are invested in each other's well-being. May our city's efforts to care for our most vulnerable inspire us to do what we can to help our neighbors. May we bring our Arlington Street spirit of care far outside these walls. The service begins when the service ends.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
All the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our hearts, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, and for the world. Amen.
Let's join now in saying together the affirmation and covenant of this beloved spiritual community. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another. Our next hymn is number 27, I Am the Great and Fiery Force. The words can be found in the hymnal, in your order of service, and in the chat. Let's rise in body or spirit and join in singing, I Am the Great and Fiery Force.
I am the great and fiery force, sparkling in everything that lives, in shining of the river's course, in greening grass that glory gives. I shine and glitter on the seas, in burning sun, in moon and stars, in unseen wind, in verdant trees. I breathe within both near and far. And where I breathe, there is no death, and meadows glow with beauty's rives. I am in all the Spirit's breath, the thundered word, for I am life.
A quote from Albert Einstein: The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. He to whom the emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. The insight into the mystery of life, coupled though it be with fear, has also given rise to religion. To know what is impenetrable to us really exists, manifesting itself as the highest wisdom and the most radiant beauty, which our dull faculties can comprehend only in their most primitive forms. This knowledge, this feeling, is at the center of true religiousness. Here ends the reading. In the summer of 1774, Joseph Priestley embarked on a series of experiments that would forever change our understanding of life as we know it. Armed with a burning lens, a device concentrating sunlight into a powerful beam, Priestley heated a strange red powder called mercuric oxide in a glass container. As the powder heated up, an invisible gas began to fill the glass jar around it. Priestley didn't know what it was, but he noticed something amazing. When he placed a candle in the jar, it burned with an unusually bright and vigorous flame, far more intense than in ordinary air. And this was no ordinary gas. It seemed to possess a unique ability to support combustion. When he tried breathing in the air from the experiment, he said it felt very refreshing. Intrigued, he carefully isolated and collected the gas in a separate container, eager to explore its properties. Priestley conducted a further experiment by placing a mouse inside the container filled with the mysterious gas, and observed that the mouse remained lively and active for a much longer time than it would in ordinary air. Priestley realized this gas had extraordinary properties that could sustain life and enhance combustion. Priestley's discovery was groundbreaking. Have you guessed what it was yet? The gas he uncovered was later named oxygen by Antoine Lavoisier, who also recognized its crucial role in fire and breath. Joseph Priestley's experiments with mercuric oxide and his discovery of what we now call oxygen marked a pivotal moment, laying the foundation for modern chemistry and deepening our understanding of the natural world. But Priestley was not only a scientist, he was also a Unitarian preacher. Deeply curious about how the world works and convinced that learning more about nature led to a stronger sense of faith. To him, the discovery of oxygen wasn't just a scientific victory, it was also a spiritual experience. Priestley believed that God had given us reason and curiosity to better understand the world, and through it, the divine. For him, there was no conflict between science and faith. Studying nature was a kind of worship. He once wrote that the more he understood about the natural world, the more he stood in awe of its creator. To me, the oxygen that Joseph Priestley discovered has parallels with Unitarian Universalism and what it means to live a spiritual life. A belief in something ubiquitous, but often unnoticed. A belief in that we are all connected, sharing the same gases, the same resources. a belief that the simple state of air in your lungs is the only prerequisite for equality. Plus, Priestley is not alone in seeing the connections between science and spirituality. In 1925, Cecilia Payne, a devout Unitarian herself, used the emerging field of quantum mechanics to reveal that hydrogen is the most common element found in the stars, and consequently, the entire universe. In 1989, Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web, one of the fundamental pillars of the modern internet. Tim is also a Unitarian Universalist, actually here in the Boston area, with strong beliefs that the openness and interconnectivity of the internet are very similar to the beliefs of openness and interconnectivity that are fundamental to Unitarian Universalism. See, science and spirituality are symbiotic. Without a sense of spiritual connection, science is dry and devoid of meaning. Without respect for science, spirituality is hopelessly lost in the dark. The scientific method is about testing ideas and reaching conclusions based on the data, which is not so different from what happens here, where we are each encouraged in our own lives to find a sense of truth and meaning. Joseph, Cecilia, and Tim are simply a few examples of this symbiosis. Let's explore two more. In the summer of 2018, I was conducting a fellowship here at MIT when I took a late night walk down Bay State Road near Kenmore Square. I was feeling lost in life and reflecting on my interests in sustainability and clean energy when, out of nowhere, I thought back to a high school history project about Philo Farnsworth, the inventor of electronic television and modern radar technology. Later in life, he extensively studied nuclear fusion, the fundamental process by which the sun and all the stars in our universe create light and heat. I thought, oh yeah, what was that fusion thing again? When I got home, I looked into it online and went down some deep rabbit holes on my computer, thanks to Tim Berners-Lee, becoming ever enthralled with the complexity and potential of fusion energy. See, fusion is the opposite of fission. Fission is the source of nuclear power plants, a controversial form of carbon-free energy. Fission splits nuclei apart, whereas fusion binds them together. They are literally opposites, and fusion succeeds where fission fails. A fusion power plant could never melt down. It would not produce high volumes of long-lived radioactive waste, nor could it be used to create an atomic weapon. And that's all because the physics is fundamentally different. Physics also tells us that a fusion power plant would only need elements of seawater as fuel. It would generate 4 times more energy than fission, or 4 million times more energy than an equivalent amount of fossil fuels, all while generating no greenhouse gases. But there's always a catch, right? The catch is that fusion is incredibly difficult to sustain. The conditions are so fragile that nobody has been able to create a working fusion power plant. Yet. I soon discovered MIT has a plasma science and fusion center just across the river here in Cambridge. That summer, I got to tour their facility and see the remnants of CMOD, their legacy fusion experiment that set world records for pressure and magnetic confinement in a fusion experiment. In 2016, CMOD was mothballed due to funding cuts from the US Department of Energy. Oh, how contemporary. Still, I was mind blown seeing this solar sarcophagus that has scientifically paved the way to a future of unlimited, 24/7 clean energy and further unlocking secrets of our celestial formation. In the following years, I became obsessed with fusion, working with several fusion energy organizations, including the largest fusion experiment in the world, currently being constructed in southern France. And as I slowly learned more about the physics of fusion, the more I saw an explanation of what it means to live a harmonious life. See, fusion is the process of two atoms becoming one. In the case of our sun, it's the nuclei of hydrogen under immense gravitational force forging together to become one helium nucleus. Except something is missing. The resulting helium nucleus has slightly less mass than the original two hydrogen that produced it. So, where did the missing mass go? Well, physics tells us that matter cannot be created nor destroyed. So it went somewhere. But where? Fusion is actually the manifestation of Einstein's famous E equals mc squared equation. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. Since the speed of light is an enormous number, any change in mass results in an exponential amount of energy. So, in the case of fusion, the lost mass is converted into energy in the form of heat and light. Get enough nuclei to fuse, 4 million tons per second in the case of our sun, and with all those reactions, you've got a star. But let's take a closer look at that fusion formula again, because it reveals something fundamental about human nature. When two hydrogen fuse, the resulting helium has slightly less mass than the original two hydrogen. What does that make you think of? For me, it reminds me of love. Love is often two people coming together, each losing a little bit of themselves in the process in order to create a new and powerful relationship. It's a sacrifice, but it's not a sacrifice for nothing. That little sliver of ourselves we must shed in order to love is never, never truly lost. When we love another fully, we get new energy for life. Those around us can feel that energy. They can see it radiating from you. It's the process of peace, of compromise, of unity. It's the very foundation of human nature. Social beings who understand that together we are capable of so much more than we are on our own. It's an equation for love, etched in the very fabric of our cosmos and in every fiber of your being. Fusion uses hydrogen to create every other element, comprising every single thing we can possibly perceive. We are all long descendants of fusion reactions, forged in the crucible of an ancient star. In many ways, fusion is the story of where we come from and where we are going. So, oxygen was discovered hundreds of years ago by a Unitarian priest, and fusion as a clean energy source is being worked on right now. But what about the future? What's something we're barely even beginning to understand? It's my third and final theory of the connections between science and spirituality. In the spring of 1935, Albert Einstein was growing restless. He had already reshaped the world's understanding of space and time, thanks to his special theory of relativity. But there was something about the new field of quantum mechanics that deeply unsettled him. Like fusion, quantum is the study of atoms and subatomic particles, including the mind-bending ways they interact with each other. The math for quantum mechanics worked, but the ideas, to Einstein, they were too bizarre to be true. Particles that didn't have defined positions until they were observed, a universe run on probability rather than certainty. Einstein once said, "God does not play dice with the universe." He couldn't accept that reality at its most fundamental level was governed by chance and randomness. He believed there had to be something deeper, more orderly, waiting to be uncovered. So, in 1935, at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, he gathered with two fellow physicists, Boris Podolsky and Nathan Rosen, to challenge quantum theory itself. The three of them wanted to show that quantum mechanics, for all its successes, was incomplete. They crafted a thought experiment, not involving labs or equipment, but instead imagination, logic, and equations. They imagined two particles that interacted with each other and then flew apart, far away from each other. According to quantum mechanics, these particles became entangled. A mysterious link was formed. If you measured the position or momentum of one, the properties of the other would instantly snap into alignment, even if they were light years apart. This idea that particles are connected, no matter the distance, is now called quantum entanglement. The whole concept disturbed Einstein. It suggested that information could travel faster than the speed of light, violating the rules of his own theory of relativity. To him, this couldn't be right. He called it spooky action at a distance. He didn't believe the particles were magically influencing one another from opposite ends of the universe. Instead, he argued there must be some hidden variables, unknown factors that predetermined their outcomes. The universe must still play by rules, he thought. We just hadn't discovered all of them yet. The group's resulting paper, now called the EPR paradox, named after Einstein, Podolsky, and Rosen, was published in the journal Physical Review. It was meant to poke a hole in quantum theory, to challenge its strange implications and urge the physics community to dig deeper. However, the paper had an unexpected effect. It didn't weaken quantum theory, it strengthened it. It sparked decades of debate and eventually inspired experiments that tested Einstein's objections. And the results? Einstein was wrong. Entanglement is real. The spooky action he mocked turned out to be a fundamental truth of our universe. Particles, no matter the distance, are linked at the subatomic level, even if they're light years apart and at opposite ends of the cosmos. Now, if Albert Einstein couldn't even explain why quantum entanglement exists, there is No way I am going to try. But I can't help but notice how this freaky fact of physics makes me think of politics and the fabric of human life. To me, it recalls Barack Obama's famous keynote address at the 2004 Democratic National Convention right here in Boston, when he said, "A belief that we are all connected as one people. If there's a child on the south side of Chicago who can't read, that matters to me, even if it's not my child. If there's a senior citizen somewhere who can't pay for their prescription drugs and has to choose between medicine and the rent, that makes my life poorer, even if it's not my grandparent. If there's an Arab American family being rounded up without benefit of an attorney or due process, that threatens my civil liberties." Oh, I miss Barack. We are all connected as one people. What happens to you, what you are going through, what you are experiencing, impacts me. I believe it shows that what binds us is far more powerful than what divides us. Quantum physics teaches us that we are entangled, some way, somehow. It shows that our cosmos is a beautiful web of interconnectedness. We have the math to prove it, but we don't know why it is the way it is. We are still learning fundamental truths about our very existence. What I love about science is that it reveals the lines of truth and the limits of our understanding. What I love about spirituality is that we get to color everything in between. We get to create meaning with what we are given. Let us choose to revel in awe of it all. So join me in taking a deep breath of air in ode to Joseph Priestley. Look down at your hands and body composed of atoms fused in the fiery core of an ancient star. And feel how those particles are entangled with the people beside you, those on the other side of the world, and in elements of far-off galaxies, deep, deep, deep in the cosmos. Breathe in, breathe out. Blessed be.
Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always If I had a day that I could give you, I'd give a day to you just like today. If I had a song that I could sing for you, I'd sing a song to make you feel this way. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. If I had a tale that I could tell you, I'd tell a tale sure to make you smile. If I had a wish that I could wish for you, I'd make a wish for sunshine all the while. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. Sunshine almost all the time makes me high. Sunshine almost always.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Anna. Arlington Street is entirely self-sustaining. It's up to us. Thank you for your commitment to our staff, our building, and our beloved spiritual community. Each Sunday, we share our collection plate with a partner in our mission of love, service, justice, and peace. During the summer months, our Share the Plate offerings are saved to use for future emergencies and to help us in rescue and rebuilding efforts following natural and unnatural disasters, amplifying our impact around the world. Do you ever think about the words you might want to memorialize yourself? I do, which might be odd for someone my age, but when you work with the dying, you think about these things. If I ever have a headstone or a plaque, I want it to bear the quote from Les Mis: "To love another person is to see the face of God." Yesterday, we memorialized Holly Cheever. Holly's family has a long history at Arlington Street, and even though she has long lived out of state, her family wanted to bring all their friends and relatives here to honor her in her Arlington Street home. Last-minute needs came up, and me, Reverend Beth, Anna, Beck, and Kevin and Michael jumped in to help. Watching everyone work so hard to honor Holly and support her family in their own way brought me to my knees in awe and gratitude. In managing tech, in music, in comforting, guiding, opening doors, answering questions, the face of God was everywhere. But perhaps my favorite view of the holy came when an elderly visitor's legs started giving out as she tried to climb our side steps. I ran beside to catch her, and her family grabbed a folding chair. She was safe for a moment, but stuck in the chair. With her permission, Reverend Beth and I carried our new friend into the church on her folding chair, laughing about her royal entrance and the theme music she should have. We saw the holy in our procession. As Holly's family packed up, her daughters tearfully told us how loved they felt. And as they stepped out the doors, they called out, "We love you," and we called back, "We love you too." I'm so grateful to be a part of a community where we show up to love each other in all different ways, and in doing so, we bring heaven to earth. Please take a moment now to join me in giving to sustain our beloved Arlington Street. You can give online at ascboston.org or check the order of service for instructions for how to give via QR code, Venmo, or text message. You can also mail a check to the church or use the envelopes in the pews, which can be given to the ushers as they come through momentarily with collection plates. Thank you for your generosity.
When I see through the deception and the river is flowing free, you may understand the reason why I'm drifting out to sea. And you may control the currents as I drift in search of land. You may understand the reason when the water turns to sand. So while you're on this lonely trip, keep a watch for other ships. And if by chance our vessels pass, while you're on this lonely trip, keep a watch for other ships. And if by chance our vessels pass, perhaps we'll finally meet at last. When the doors are all closed tightly, with words the only keys, you may understand the reason why I'm floating on the breeze. When I hear your voice responding, when no questions have begun, you may understand the reasons why I'm flying to the sun. So while you're on this lonely trip, keep a watch for other ships. And if by chance our vessels pass, while you're on this lonely trip, keep a watch for other ships, and if by chance our vessels pass, perhaps we'll finally meet at last. Perhaps we'll finally meet at last. Perhaps we'll finally meet at last.
Thank you. Our closing hymn is number 1052 in the teal hymnal. The words can also be found in your order of service and in the chat. Let's rise in body, rise in spirit, and join in singing the oneness of everything.
To feel the
Before our benediction, I invite those of you in the Zoom room to please reach out your hands and touch the sides of your square. And those of you in the sanctuary to please raise your hands, palms out. Let's send loving kindness to the person to your left and to your right. Send loving kindness to the person on either side of you and to the people on either side of them. Send out love into this beloved spiritual community and feel it coming back to you. Love is the spirit of this congregation. And now, for our benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart as we see the divine in each other. In the words of Carl Sagan, the cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. Let us keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Bless your hearts. Amen.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine.
Founded in 1729, Arlington Street continues today as a gathering place for progressive people of faith in the greater Boston area and beyond. We are located at the corner of Arlington and Boylston Streets, across from the Public Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.